Hello, Serge here from the Backyard Driving Range. We have a question that came into customer service. This one comes from Steve McGee, and Steve says, I go to an Inside Sports Dome almost 5 times a week and take 4 to 5 clubs. 9-iron all the time. Reason it's my 90-yard club. The distance to the back wall of the dome. A long iron, short iron, hybrid, 3-wood, or driver. My 2 problems are distance. I'm working on that and will probably get an online video lesson from Dave Seaman. That's true. We do have online lessons that you can send in, and that's explained on the site in the lesson section. He says, the other problem he has is chunking. I noticed on Serge videos that he grounds his club before he swings for all clubs. I haven't seen or heard him talk about where he grounds it, i.e. distance from the ball. On trying this, keep in mind he changes the distance on all clubs. Keeping them square and keeping still has improved the chunking. However, the sequence of what you should do from walk-in to finishing the tee is still a mystery. I know they are all in separate videos and in detail, but nowhere is there a simple list without all the detail, and this is what I'm interested in. Example, where does he do the PLRH? That's preloaded heavy right at walk-in, at accordion or on the way down an accordion, just before backswing and so on. Each time the weight changes, the swing and chunks happen or don't go away. You top the ball. Again, the sequence of what you would do from walk-in to finishing the tee is still a mystery. I hope someone can help me in this. Well, let's take a quick look at it. I mean, first off, I don't believe I've ever made an exact list of it, but I guess if somebody were to look at any time I did a lesson on or daily on the routine of walking in, for me, you could just look at it and make and figure it out. In the end, routines are personalized to each golfer, and the whole concept of a routine is to practice it enough so that you can eventually it just happens like routine, like how you pick up a pencil and automatically grip it and then start writing. I mean, the thing most of us do routinely without even having to think about it is the thing you've done the most of in your life. Sign your name. You just grab the pencil, you zip it off, and so maybe at one point you had to study it, but and practice it, but you don't really do it anymore. It just comes natural and automatic, and that's what we want to do with routines, is get into an automatic system. Now, many times I might be in my mind have modified the routine and I'm working on some other strategic point, but to you, if you were watching me, you might not know that I'm really emphasizing or paying special attention to a really important thing, but my routine will look pretty consistently the same. Normally what I do is I stop behind, so first thing I'm gonna do is stop from behind. I find my spot. Many times I will check the spot out. Sometimes I break my routine with that because I might not check it exactly as clearly as this, but I'll be really checking with my eye. Sometimes I just might do it with my hand. But per se, I'm going to find my spot. Then with that, I'm going to walk in. I'm going to walk from directly behind the ball to in front of the ball here, and I'm going to come in where I'm starting to imagine my lines on the ground. So first thing I do is I put the club up in the air. I take it always with my right hand, flip, and I just raise my right arm up, and it's straight out, and then I turn it a little to the left, pointing the club at my left wrist, so I can grip it in this position, and I'm going to make sure the face is in line with the club. So I'm walking over. Step 2 would be walking a 90-degree turn to get directly in front, and then I start my gripping of the club. So that would be step 3, I guess. And I'm making sure that the club face is perpendicular to the ground, by the leading edge perpendicular to the ground. And I'm going to start after I pointed it here, and I'm going to put my hands on the club. Once I get all of that, I've now drawn my line to there. I'm putting the club down perpendicular to that aiming line to my spot. I'm drawing the second line. Now you're going to have to number these because I can't keep up with the numbers now and still talk and say what I'm doing. This is probably already about 4 or 5. I'm going to draw this line in here, which comes straightly in, which is I'm drawing that line off my leading face, the leading edge of the face, to tell me where my ball position is. Then I draw the cross line here to the making the H. All right, and sometimes I call this the upside down T, and then the toe comes to the edge and the other foot comes back. Now during this time, in my own personal swing, I might be really emphasizing really getting the right arm under at this point, but you don't know that I'm really thinking extra about that, even though I'm standing here and I'm looking like nothing's changed, and then I'm working my right shoulder down a little bit, or many times I'm working. I've realized I've gotten into a situation and I'm not spreading my feet well, in terms of maybe not spreading them with it dead on the toe line. So I'm really working on something like that, and basically one of the biggest questions you ask is, where do I do the preloaded heavy right? Well, naturally, I'm going to do that once I finally get my feet down, because you can't do that until you're pretty much set in your position. So once I go 1, 2, you will see that normally I stand up a little bit, and I get over here like that, and I go down. And that's the preloaded heavy right. So I've been in here, I get in here, I stand up, I'm making sure that I'm getting by the accordion effect, I'm getting a good posture, and I'm getting down and into my posture, and then I'm just going to set a little preloaded heavy right, and then it's probably just 1 or 2 slight little jiggles here. I don't like a lot of backswings. Sometimes I do add in doing this to make sure I'm really working on my rotation, but sometimes most of the time I just basically do this. I get down and I go, and once I get into that, once I start, I go. Now, yes, my club is touching the ground, but it's very lightly. I'm never pushing down, because I've already squeezed the club. I'm holding it up in my hands, and I'm squeezing upward in the grip, and that club is just, it wouldn't even press the grass down. And then I stop my swing and I go. Now, basically, that routine is quite consistent all the time. But as I said, your routine is yours. You decide what you want to emphasize in it, what you're really paying attention to, and that can be modified depending on how you're hitting the ball, or if you find that you're having situations where, like, for example, you're not lining up very well. You can really start thinking more about making sure your H is correct, about that you're getting here and you're parallel left of your target, so you can change your emphasis. But overall, a routine is for you. It's what you really want to work on, and you want to kind of keep it simple. You might have to, like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 it in the beginning, but at some point it should just flow. It should become just natural, from starting here to walking all the way in, and you. I mean, like, I'm never counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, step 6. I mean, I don't know how many steps there are, but I'm going to get from here to here and get in there, and I'll probably be within 4 or 5 seconds swinging, all right, from the time I start back there, all right? And they say that if you visualize your swing back there, wherever you visualize your swing, or as I call it, make a good practice swing, feel the swing, and step up to hit the feel, and swing the feel, the sports psychologists and people who study those things have said that, on average, once you feel a swing or feel any motion, if you need about 10 seconds, you must hit it within about 10 seconds, because the feel is already starting to fade away out of your mind, which is going to trigger your muscles. So your routine is your routine. Make it any way you want. I would say that it needs to, at some point, you're going to have to work on it, probably walk your way through your steps. They can be modified at any time. And in many cases, it won't change a whole lot of the routine. Or in some point in time, that modification might cause a slight change from what you did at one time, but it'll stay pretty close to what it's supposed to be. But a routine is great because it takes you out of the conscious and gets you into the subconscious, walking into the ball, so you can maintain that thought about the feel of the swing, to swing the feel, so you can start hitting much more consistently good shots and shooting those lower scores. That's it for the Surge for today, and I'll be talking to you all again soon.